So I just graduated from Yale and I'm having a tough time getting a job. I had decent grades. I had like a 3.4, 3.5, and I've applied to probably 150 places, and I don't know, I'm just not having that much success. I've been trying to figure out ways to like find what jobs like I actually would fit in at. There's a platform called Not Broke. Basically just like it does that. It just tells you like what jobs it thinks you'd like. And so I was just wondering like what people do. How do you figure out what you want to do?
To whom it may concern, I'm sat here today to let you know that I'm eager, ready, and willing to be hired. No, not willing, desperate. Desperate to be hired. You may be thinking, why are you the ideal employee? Why am I not? Why am I not? I'm stood here in my school shirt for this. Don't tell me I'm not prepared. Don't tell me I'm not willing, because I am. So you may be thinking, why am I the ideal employee? Why am I the ideal employee? Why am I not? You know, I'm a good team worker. I've done D.A.V. You know, I'm good at sorting things out. I'm good at listening, seeing, talking, listening. I'm good at thinking on my feet. I'm good at learning from the feet. I'm good at sitting on my seat. Only when required though. If you need me to stand up, I'm ready, I'm willing. Guys, I'm ready to stand up when you need me to. All I'm asking is that you give me one chance. I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm a good candidate, I'm a good employee. I'll listen to you, I'll look at you and I'll hear you. I'll hear you, I'll hear you, I'll hear you. In conclusion, please hire me because I'm ready, you know, I'm eager, and I'm ready. Thank you.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but job search 2025 is a different ball game. It's completely different. It's outrageous, atrocious. I don't know the word to use, but it's not like anything I've experienced before. On top of that, I know a lot of people that are dealing with redundancies or being let go from their jobs unexpectedly. It's never easy or fun, but having that and then having the stress of needing a new job, a new income, source of income, but also it being a complete struggle. And I'm going to speak for myself, and I can say that this job market is like no other I've ever experienced. It's definitely the worst. In fact, after graduating and having zero experience, I found getting a job easier than someone that I'm hireable. I have years of experience. Yes, I'm in marketing, which we can argue is saturated, but generally speaking, it should not take 150, 170, 200, 500 applications to get a job. That is not normal. That is not okay. And the amount of time, effort, and energy spent looking for jobs is unreal. And I know I'm not alone, which is why I'll happily make this video and let you know that, yeah, we can say take accountability, update your CV, make sure you're applying for jobs that are relevant to you, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely. I know that a good job seeker is going to be doing that, period. But let's talk about the fact that actually a lot of companies have not been hiring. There are a lot of job ads that are just for facades. Like, honestly, it's just to show that a business looks like they're growing. It is also a formality. Sometimes they've got someone internal and they've got internal applications that they're going to favor. And I know this sounds like someone that's going through it and they're just going to put down this whole system. But this is a systemic issue and it needs to be talked about because, like I said, so much onus gets put on someone being unemployed when actually it is diabolical out there on the job market, and it may differ from field to field, but generally speaking, I know a lot of people that have been suffering in this 2025 job market. A lot of businesses are not hiring. A lot of businesses are outsourcing for cheaper labor. Let's not deny it. A lot of businesses have waited until April tax year, whether that's for budgeting, which is the usual thing. April to April is the tax year. Therefore, that's when they're going to start hiring. A lot of businesses have had hiring freezes and making cuts and redundancies. The amount of people I know alone that have been made redundant in the past year or let go in shady ways, like myself, is ridiculous. It's not okay. On top of that, it should not take 200 job applications to secure a job. It really shouldn't. And whilst we're there, why is it 4 or 5 interviews to get a job? It's not normal. This shouldn't be normalized. This shouldn't be accepted. I'm not just here to whine about it. Obviously, keep applying, keep doing you, maintain some positivity, but it is a real mental toll, as well as the stress of, having that financial insecurity and some elements of shame that comes with it, that you're not a functioning, member of society because you haven't got a job and you're paying your way and you're just using your savings or just getting by in whatever way. I'm not here for it. This job market is ridiculous. I'm by your side. Keep doing what you're doing. I think it's going to start picking up since we are out of April. And there are those facade jobs. There are things like that. There are even scams I've seen online that are just ridiculous. And unfortunately, I've also come across companies that just want to interview you because you are from a competitor and they just want to get some insight knowledge, and they may not even be hiring for that role officially. So yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happened and need to be talked about. And I never really realized this until this point in my career, but it's been there all along. I just don't know if it's because it's in my forefront right now because I'm experiencing it, or if it is because also the state of the economy and the cost of living crisis is really highlighting it. Additionally, I don't think I've ever experienced so many redundancies around me, but I don't know. This is just my opinion, and I don't know who needs to hear it, but keep doing what you're doing. That job will come. I agree it shouldn't be so freaking hard to get a job.
You know what's scary? I've been seeing a lot of TikToks of people who graduated, got in their masters or PhDs, and can't find a job. That is so scary. You're told to go to school, get your higher education, and you'll get a good job and whatnot, but it is insane out there. People with masters, PhDs, going to good schools, can't find a job. If you're planning on quitting your job, make sure you have a plan, because you might be out of a job for several months.
Seriously, what is the job market right now? I am just laughing at this point. I just had a phone call with a recruiter and I'm left a bit speechless, to be honest. Bear in mind, this recruiter reached out to me as they do. I never applied for this job. She saw my experience on LinkedIn and said, do you have time for a phone call tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, sure. She asks me to tell her about the experience I have, and I have varied experience. This job was for a social media manager. I do have 5 years of experience within the marketing and social media industry. So anyway, I proceed to tell her my experience, and then she kind of cuts me off and she's like, well, this company is hiring someone with 8 years of experience, so I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think you're experienced enough. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, if somebody has 8 years experience, but you're also the one who reached out to me, and I also can't change my age. I swear these jobs are expecting you to be doing work experience by the age of 10. I literally left uni in 2023 and was doing work experience all throughout uni. Yeah. What the fuck?
Guys, everyone's unemployed. Job market at the moment is absolutely insane. Every single day I go on my LinkedIn and someone has been laid off, or they left their job because the company was just doing an absolute madness. Roles were getting changed, and what's actually going on? I was talking to my friend this morning about it, and we're just saying how it's so crazy that we are the offspring of the hustle culture, and a lot of people are trying to make something for themselves, but it's the job market and the current state of the economy is just not working with our mindsets. It's just not working with our mindsets. And yeah, it's a shame because a lot of people are struggling right now and don't know what's happening next. Recruiters are airing people, hiring managers are overwhelmed with CVs and applications. And then I'm also hearing that some of these applications that are posted on LinkedIn and all of these job boards aren't real jobs. And I'm wait, what? How did it get this bad? It's crazy.
The job market is cooked in the UK. This is yet another story about how bad the job market is in the UK right now. So this guy posted on Reddit that today he got an offer after applying for 13 months. And the craziest thing is, he has over 10 years experience in tech and software. Now, I posted loads of videos about how students are struggling in the job market, but it goes to show that there's even older people, adults with many years of experience still struggling as well. So those of you who are students who are entering the job market, maybe you have a few internships or no experience at all, the fact of the matter is you're going to have to be patient when it comes to getting a job. So this guy here, he applied to over 900 jobs using Google Jobs, Indeed and LinkedIn. And this is one of the mistakes that he made, is that he used generic job platforms like this. Now, I would encourage all of my students, and I would encourage you to do something different. If you don't want to be sending out 900 applications to get your job, and instead only be sending out 100, you need to be using niche job boards. So I mean industry or job role specific job boards which are online, which aren't the big ones like Glassdoor, LinkedIn, Indeed. And over the last 4 years, I've created a huge list of job boards and resources that you can use, so you don't have to send loads and loads of applications out. And if you want access to that list, then DM me the word list and I'll send it to you. It's completely for free.
What is going on with the job market in finance right now? And how do I stand out as a candidate? Job openings just hit a 4-year low. We're going to break down the 3 trends I think that are contributing to this, and also some advice to someone who's had 4 internships in the last year on how to master this job market. The first thing is these federal interest rates. Even though interest rates have been cut, they're still relatively high to a few years ago. Now, what this means is a lot of business companies are service-based companies. Our CPA, investment banking, consulting firms, things like that work with clients. Now, if we have higher interest rates, their clients are going to have a higher cost of capital, a higher rate of return. So it might be a little bit harder for them to expand, for them to grow their revenues, which means that there's going to be less of a demand for these business-based services relative to the growth or the people coming into the industry. If my clients aren't growing, let's say I'm not expanding as a business, then I really don't need to hire more business professionals. This was seen last year when McKinsey and Bain and other consulting firms might have overestimated their demand and cut jobs or held back on jobs until the summer. Here are 2 more quick reasons, and then we'll get into what you can do about this. Now, with that, take into account the AI craze and where companies might be placing capital in their business for growth opportunities, right? More of that might be going to AI and technologies versus hiring new people or hiring entry-level positions. And on top of that, I think there's definitely a likelihood that the amount of college students, especially in business and finance, has grown at a rate quicker than the amount of jobs have grown in specifically those fields, which just means they're going to be the same amount of jobs or relatively less jobs to the number of people that are going out and graduating from the field, which means naturally everything's going to be more competitive. But what do I do with this information? The tough job market, there's 2 things you want to make sure your profile has on lock, and that's experience, which just means your ability to impact a business in a positive manner. Oh, but I don't have experience. Well, then what you can do is maybe create some. Maybe go and do a side project or do, a model or something that provides value that would be the same in the business or industry that you're working in. The second thing is connections in a network, especially when stuff starts getting super competitive and everyone and their mom is applying to positions. A lot of people are going to have experience, and at the end of the day, what's going to set you up or set you out or get you in the door to then show all the other initiatives you've taken is your network.
The Office for National Statistics just released some new data, and the UK is completely finished. Any hope you had of buying a house or using public services, just give up. It's done. So about 5 million people will leave the UK by 2032 and 10 million people are going to come in. So our net migration figure is going to be about 5 million. But there's an argument being made that the 5 million people that are leaving the country are more economically active or would have been more economically active than the 10 million people coming in. The UK is losing more millionaires, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, teachers than basically any other European country because we have horrible tax laws and our country's cost of living is ridiculous. You might say, whatever, we got 5 million extra people, will do great. And that's a good idea in theory. The issue is Labour will not build enough houses. Even with their ambitious plan of building 1.5 million houses, that's going to barely house the people that need houses now, let alone the 5 million extra people that are going to be here by 2032. You know that long wait at the doctor you're already experiencing? Yeah, imagine that, but now there's 5 million more people in the line. I think the NHS has a backlog of 7 million people. It's going to be closer to what, 12 million now? Good luck, everyone.
In the UK, even if you retire, you can still pay income tax. This is because pension income is taxable in the UK. So even after you have worked all of your life and paid tax all of your life on your income, at the point you retire, you will still pay tax on pension income that you receive.
Dark predictions for the United Kingdom.
Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has said the UK is ready and willing to put troops on the ground in Ukraine as part of a possible peace process.
Keir Starmer said it's time for British troops on the ground in Ukraine. The PM says the UK needs to be ready and willing to contribute to securing security guarantees in the country and insisted he doesn't say that lightly.
We must be ready to fight a war with Russia if necessary.
So hold on a minute. I'm confused. I thought this was for peace, right? We need 30,000 troops for peace, and Ukraine asking for 200,000 or more troops for peace. So when they asked them to go for war, they're like, no. When they asked them to go for peace, guys, super dark predictions on this. This is, in my prediction, in my opinion, nothing to do with peace, guys. If you're from the UK, it's probably time to leave. Period.
Someone please tell me I'm fucking wrong and I'm not just going to work to earn money to put back straight into the system to afford to pay for my electric, pay for my heating, put food on the table.
More bad news for the UK economy. Yesterday we had unemployment rate creeping up. Today inflation going higher too. They say there's only 3 people that make money in a recession: drug dealers, prostitutes and traders. And if you want to choose option 3, the pound is a good one to trade today. We had about a 60-tick rally. The reason for this is, well, someone like Goldman 5 days ago, they were expecting 4 cuts from the Bank of England this year. As of now, they're expecting 1. So there's been a huge repricing in the markets. The pound's starting to get a bit of strength back after a tough week or two. But these sort of news events are pretty easy to trade. So if you want to find out how to do it, let us know.
What's 9 plus 9?
18.
Huh?
18.
9 times 9?
81.
81. And last question, what's the square root of 49?
7.
7. You going with that? Oh, he's smart, you know. What statue holds a torch in her right hand?
Statue of Liberty.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, look at that.
What about you? You smart?
Arsenal.
What is the past tense for the word take?
Take. Taku. Huh? Take.
Yeah. Past tense for take.
Or the past. Takuku.
Who is an attorney?
Define attorney. Attorney is when you eat a lot. You know, you get like diabetes. You have to go hospital. Like, who serves you there? The attorney, and
Which is longer, 2 hours or 90 minutes?
90 minutes. 90 minutes.
How? If you could explain it, you know.
Well, 90 minutes is actually an hour and a half. 90 minutes is an hour and a half. So 2 hours is 60 minutes.
British people are really sick of paying so much tax. Our businesses pay tax, we pay tax personally, there's VAT, council tax, and then even when we die, we're taxed as well. In Dubai, there is 0 income tax and only 9% corporate tax, a much better quality of life.
God's green emphasis! Over 1,700 prisoners are being released early today. What do you mean? I don't think you guys comprehend this. The bomb tickler, the porch pooper, Yanko, every drill rapper are all being released today. Streets aren't safe anymore. Whatever you do, lock yourselves indoors. Don't leave your house. They're releasing special grade curses like it's nothing. We're doomed, and we'll be moving from the UK. At least space it out a bit. Make it happen throughout the week, Monday to Friday, not in the same day. At this point, the UK's Gotham City. Where's Batman when you need him? I'm not looking in anyone's direction. At this point, I'm genuinely convinced that the government work for the Decepticons. Because what type of strategy is this? What are you trying to do? Well, let's release all the serial killers. And at the same time, they've just released the wasp injection knife. I'm never stepping foot in London. All you're gonna hear is, what are you in it for? And there'll be a whole army of GMs. I do not care if the prisons are full. Build a super prison. Do something. Apart from releasing weapons of mass destruction back onto the streets. What is wrong with you? Here, Salami. I'm blaming you. At this point, burn the UK. Burn it to the ground. I'm booking a flight straight to Rwanda today. Why is the UK turning into Arkham Asylum for? Why are we in Chicago?
If you've got to put yourself in a group, left wing, right wing, to feel validated, or because you're fucking lonely and you keep voting these absolute bellends into power, it's because for the 30 years I've been on this earth, absolutely nothing good has come from either one of them being in power. Can you not just sit back and think, why don't I vote for something or somebody that's actually going to benefit this country, or want to do something that's going to benefit this country, instead of just being a sheep and categorizing yourself for no reason whatsoever? Or maybe you're just lonely. I don't know.
So it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. The job market in the UK is finished. It's actually finished. It's getting worse. It's crazy how many people I've seen struggling to find a job. You know, we're talking people who have got masters, who've got PhDs, who've even got just normal degrees, applying for regular jobs, regular income, nothing special. And they're getting turned down. No reply, no email, no nothing. What is going on? Like, I understand that you're overqualified, but what does that really mean? What does that really come down to? Because you're either qualified, and that means that you can do any job. If you're qualified, it means anything easier than that, you should be able to do, and you can do. So what does it mean when it says you're overqualified? What kind of excuse is that? You know, you've got somebody who's got a great resume, a great CV, somebody who's got experience, who's got years of being doing something, and you reject them because they're overly qualified. What have we come down to? What is going on? So my piece of advice is to you guys who are in this situation right now, who are unemployed, who are applying for jobs, who are literally looking to start something, is apply to anything. Apply, just do it. You know what I mean? It's better than nothing. You might not be the job you want to do, but at least you have something. You have a source of income. You have regular money coming in. You have a job. You be stable financially as well. So just do it. Go for it. Don't be worried. You know, and you might end up liking it. So stay positive and don't stop.
So one of the reasons the job market in the UK is so bad right now, and no one seems to be talking about it, is the changes that were made to the IR35 tax laws. Now, if you don't know what IR35 is, essentially it is a tax law that determines if someone can work as self-employed and run for their own limited company for private and public sector organisations. So when they need to hire contractors instead of permanent staff, you would typically be outside IR35. Now, you may remember that we had the big lorry fiasco and so many lorry drivers, and people blamed it on Brexit, but realistically it was nothing to do with that. It was to do with IR35. And the main reason is people want to be paid fairly in the UK, which they typically aren't. Whereas someone like myself, I could quite easily earn 2 or 3 times more just by being a contractor. But there is that added risk. Now, the reason this has impacted the job market so badly is because those people who were contractors, outside IR35 contracts, pretty much do not exist anymore. Most of them are inside IR35, or companies are doing FTC and hiring people on PAYE. Now, this is almost wiped out the junior job market, especially for graduates in things like computer science and finance, because most of those contractors just went back to permanent employment or they left the country. Now, for the people that went back to permanent employment, they're obviously going to be paid more money because they're typically senior staff, which means there's no money left to hire junior people and train them up. Now, a lot of them would have went back into working for a private sector consultancy organisation that provides services to companies in the public sector or in the private sector. And they're now paying more money for these people because these people are hired PAYE. Like myself, I work in consulting. But the day rates are higher because the private sector companies that employ contractors as consultants on PAYE have to charge more. So nobody is really winning here, and no one seems to want to talk about it, and no one is addressing how it isn't just contractors that are actually impacted, it's PAYE permanent members of staff as well. And because of all the tax implications and the law around this tax, companies don't want to take the risk and put someone through outside IR35 in case they are deemed not by HMRC, and then they come down with big fines.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, finding a job in 2025 is one of the worst and most difficult things you have to go through the job market process, because they ain't trying to hire nobody. They'll say, oh, we are hiring and stuff like that, but bruh, they're only selecting the people that's fit for that position or some old ass person. Like, you can just submit your application online and shit, then you get the email back saying if it corresponds to their requirements, a member of the recruitment team will contact you. Then you'll hear something back within the same day or a couple of days later saying, we have received your application, but we have decided to pursue other candidates. Or in that same email it says, oh, we found another candidate that's suitable for the role. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? It's just like, bro, we're cooked. Like, you have to know someone through a friend, a family member, or through management to get a job. That's why it's so important to really just keep a job in this economy, I'm telling you. Like, I know you want to quit that job, trust me. But if you want to quit that job, you better have at least a plan or something, or you're doing something on the side that's making you good money. Also, one more thing, the interview process as well. When you go to that job for that interview, they're going to ask you dumb questions like, what makes you want to work at this particular job? And it's just like, bruh, I need the job to pay bills. I just need to maintain and survive. Then you go through the job interview process, and then they'll tell you, oh, well, we got other candidates lined up, but we'll let you know when you get the job or whatever. And you don't hear from their ass again. No call, no update, etc. It's like a person leaving you on red and going ghost. That's literally how it's like. And I've probably been ghosted for like 5 or 10 years now by these jobs. But all I gotta say is, bro, keep that job, man. If you're trying to find a job, don't give up. You'll get the job that you want. But also as well, y'all go join the Discord in my bio, pronto.
Seriously, what is the job market right now? I am just laughing at this point. I just had a phone call with a recruiter and I'm left a bit speechless, to be honest. But bear in mind, this recruiter reached out to me, as they do. I never applied for this job. She saw my experience on LinkedIn and said, do you have time for a phone call tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, sure. She asks me to tell her about the experience I have, and I have varied experience. This job was for a social media manager. I do have 5 years of experience within the marketing and social media industry. So anyway, I proceed to tell her my experience, and then she kind of cuts me off and she's like, well, this company is hiring someone with 8 years of experience, so I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think you're experienced enough. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, if somebody has 8 years experience, but you're also the one who reached out to me, and I also can't change my age. Like, I swear these jobs are expecting you to be doing work experience by the age of like 10. I literally left uni in 2023 and was doing work experience all throughout uni. Yeah. What the fuck?
Okay, I'm just gonna shamelessly do this. My name is Dana. I've been a model for about 9 years. I have a marketing degree. I also have a certification in front-end development. I can speak 2 other languages. I'm currently living in London, and I've been applying for jobs for over 6 months and zero responses. So if anyone knows anybody hiring, I'm more than happy to send my resume. But it's a tough journey out there, so if anyone's going through this, you're not alone. And that's it. I hope you all have a fantastic day.
Okay, I have been looking for a job for a few months in London. I'm from the US. I moved here. I have Irish citizenship, so I don't need a visa or anything. Tell me why it's the hardest thing. I am getting nowhere. I'm getting interviews. I'm getting to the final rounds, and then, you know, they're going with someone else. And I just don't know what to do. So coming on here for my London girlies, if your company is hiring, if you know of any recruiters that are looking for candidates, I'm your gal. Are there any networking events I can go to? Because experience is really good too. I work at a very established telehealth company in the US right now. It's skincare. I do product development and customer experience, so give it to me.
Jobs, or the lack of jobs, seemingly. Do you run a business of any size? Do you work in a business of any size? Do you have any idea what their hiring plans are going forward? Well, a shocking report has come out in the last 24 hours from the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, CIPD, which says that they have surveyed businesses in the UK, and hiring plans over the next 3 months by businesses are the lowest they've ever been since records began. That basically businesses are just not planning to hire anybody. And I have personal experience of this because I run a small recruitment company, and it's dead as a doornail. People are just not hiring. They're sitting on their hands. They're shelving projects. They don't know whether to hire people or not to hire people. And that's because, for two reasons really. Firstly, they don't know where the economy is going, and they don't want to invest without having more sort of foresight and security and knowledge of where it's going. And secondly, the tax rises which came in a month or so ago, particularly employers' national insurance rises, have made it much more expensive to hire people. And so businesses are just sitting on their hands. They're not hiring people. Then we had official figures which came out this morning, which said, I believe, that employment totals across the country dropped by, I think it was 35,000. Now, that's not a massive number across the entire country, but it's an indication of a direction of travel. Employment is not going up, it's going down. At the same time, you had the figures come out on wage rises. Wages are rising at around about, I think it was 5.6 or 5.8%. Now, generally speaking, wage rises being healthy is a good thing. The problem is that that's significantly higher than inflation. And therefore, what that probably means is that those wages are going to come down, or inflation is going to go up to meet it, because wage costs are an indicator of future inflation. So whereas interest rates have been coming down, inflation's been coming down, if wages stay high, then potentially inflation might go back up. So we've got a real sort of doom spiral, unfortunately. The economy is not growing, it's flatlining. Wage growth is still quite high. Inflation has come down, but might go back up again. The number of people in employment is dropping, and plans by companies to hire anybody are going down. Nobody's hiring anybody. So where exactly is economic growth going to come from? Any ideas? It ain't happening. It's damaging my business. I run a very small business, two-man band, and it works in the IT and recruitment and technology sector. And we are struggling. I'll be completely honest with you. If you happen to run an IT company or a technology company and you're looking to hire anyone, give me a shout, because I will do you really, really good rates. We're desperate for new clients at the moment. We're desperate to find people that are hiring anyone. It's a struggle. So if you know anyone in that sector and you like me, then please give me a shout. I will do you a cracking deal just to get some business through the door. And that is the case across all of the small businesses that I know. And if that's the case across small businesses, it's probably the case across bigger businesses as well. It's not looking great. It's not looking rosy. We need to change things. These tax rises that came in have really badly damaged the economy, damaged business confidence, damaged employment. And they're not actually going to raise very much money. And it's not like they're plugging this alleged black hole, because the government have just announced, or recently the figures have come out, that borrowing for this year is going to be one of the highest in any years in living memory. It's going to be 115, 120 billion quid. So the tax rises have done bugger all. It's not looking good. Give me a call.
UK unemployment has risen to the highest level in nearly 4 years. Meanwhile, everybody is talking about the same issue. As you all know, all you see in the news is immigration levels, etc., etc. But nobody is going to talk about unemployment levels. And as I said, they're officially at the highest level in nearly 4 years. And let's consider nearly 4 years ago was around post-COVID time, where things were just getting back to normal. And obviously unemployment has gone up to get to this level, and nobody's life has gotten better economically at all. We just hear the same statements about immigration, migration, etc., etc., because that's what most of the population want to hear. Meanwhile, most people can't even find jobs, no matter what degree they have, no matter what skills they have, no matter what age. Nobody can find a job, and simply because there's no growth in the UK, no economic growth whatsoever. Nobody can find jobs because no jobs are available, none are being created. So this comes as no surprise to anyone.